And it says we're live. Welcome to RICE TVx. I apologize for the delay in us getting started today. We should be live streaming on all three of our channels: RICE TVx, CBTV, CryptoBlood, and the Bitcoin Ben Show. Make sure you are subscribed to all three of our channels. Give me a 5x5. Let me know that you can hear me loud and clear, and we're going to go ahead and get this thing started. Trying to rush through this intro before we begin. A huge shout out to the sponsors of RICE TVx who make it possible for me to do this full time. You can always find information in every video description on RICE TVx for Presearch and Monarch Wallet. Also want to remind people that we are currently, well, I want to remind people, if you didn't watch the video that I did with Bitcoin Ben a week ago from today, which is why we decided to do today's video, make sure you check that out. And also, I made an appearance on RT News that took place mid-December. It got released the end of December, and I happened to stumble upon it by accident yesterday. So if you haven't seen that, be sure to check that one out. And again, we will be getting started here in just moments. Before we get into it, make sure you visit ricetevx.com and sign up for my mailing list so you never miss an update or new RICE TVx and RICE Against the Grain content. You will also find links to all of my various channels as well as my social media. Make sure you're following both of my YouTube channels, RICE TVx as well as RICE Against the Grain. And due to censorship, make sure you're following me on other alternative platforms such as Rumble and Odyssey, where I do post up exclusive content. If you want to support RICE TVx, be sure to check out and join my Patreon channel, where you will get early access to my videos with no ads, unedited. You will also get exclusive content and more. All right, it looks like we are successfully live streaming on all three of our YouTube channels. So if you are not subscribed, I got links in my video description. I know CB does as well, and I know Bitcoin Ben will get his added. We are sorry for the delay, but we had to get this thing set up on our other brother from another mother's channel, Bitcoin Ben's channel. So are we good on your channel, Ben?
No.
It didn't work out?
No, what do you mean?
No, it is not working on my channel for some reason.
We'll have to figure that out.
Man, all that had you guys waiting in vain.
We apologize, everybody. Because
we had it.
Yeah, it does not show that you're live.
Nope.
We didn't do something right. It has 4 people waiting over there, is what it says. Let me see if I can.
Maybe did you put the right keys in?
It should. I mean, it should. We double checked. Remember? It shouldn't change. It's the only one it changes that I've discovered is Odyssey periodically, and then Rumble. Rumble, you had that separate one that comes up every single time. But anyways, we'll get a copy of the video sent to you, Ben, so you can add it on your channel 100%. So I'm going to have links down below for Bitcoin Ben's website as well as his YouTube channel. And I'm going to have links down below for CryptoBlood.io. And speaking of, you can see something here about Bloodalytics. If you guys, I want to see if I still have this thing up. I do. If you guys want 25% off Bloodalytics, you can take advantage with discount code RICETVx at checkout. And it's a way to support the channel. And links are going to be down below in the video description, but you can find that on CryptoBlood.io. And also CryptoBlood's YouTube channel, and I have links for his Rumble channel as well. So, Ben, I'm glad that you suggested that the three of us do this together, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's really all hands on fucking deck right now. Because we got everybody just trying to, talk shit on cryptos and like the typical government does, they create a false flag FTX. And then they point at that and go, look how corrupt crypto is. And everyone involved with FTX is from the old system.
Yeah. No, it's
and no one from the United States was actually affected by FTX.
Yeah.
Like directly. Yeah. It was all FTX.com, not FTX.us. So
yep.
Isn't that ironic?
Crazy, right?
And it points out all the faults, I mentioned that in that RT thing of, this really points to the failures of centralization. When you see when the combination of BlockFi, Celsius, Three Arrows, FTX, everything in conjunction, Genesis, what they did, it's all centralized entities. You're not seeing this with decentralized entities. So I think it's great.
Congrats, man, for being on RT though. That's what's up.
Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, did it. That's the thing that pissed me off is
you told me about it.
I don't generally do this, but I was looking for an image for Ben for the thumbnail, something different, and I was Googling his stuff, and I'm like, I haven't done this in a long time. I Googled myself. I pre-searched myself because I get different results, but with Google, that article came up, and I'm like, wow, they released this. They didn't tell me about it. Nice.
Wow.
So I guess the lady who hooked me up kind of because it was not, I don't know. I just wasn't told. I was told it was going to come out later, and I'm like, it's not going to make any sense for it to come out later because it's going to be old news by the time it comes out later.
I remember you saying, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
But it came out, and the funny thing was that was the conversation, Blood, that I was telling you that the producer interviewed me, and that lady who you see asking the questions, I didn't ever have a chance to talk to. Pretty interesting.
Oh,
so it's like,
do it, huh?
Yeah.
Now you're Hollywood, man. You can tell us what's behind the veil.
Right.
You can tell us all the fuckery that goes on behind the veil of Hollywood now, buddy.
It's so crazy, man. It's so crazy.
No. Because as soon as you do that, they Conway your ass.
They do what?
Oh God, what's that rapper who's
Kanye?
Yeah.
Oh, Kanye.
That boy was spitting.
Man, if you saw Blood's ID, you would swear that he was Kanye's kin or something.
Kanye's a little off his rocker, though. I will have to say he needs some mental support.
What is he off his rocker on?
We can't even get. See, this is why we got to have Ben back on, so we do it on Rumble,
uncensored, right? Yeah, uncensored, where we don't have to worry about what we talk about.
I can't even go into it, Ben.
And this is true. There is no such thing as a white Jew. I'll end it at that.
We definitely, Ben. We see. I'm gonna have to give you a class on YouTube rules and policies and things you cannot say because of YouTube overlords.
This is why I don't have a channel.
Right, I know. And look at me. I'm still here, sir.
That's why,
we take our shit off of YouTube, and we'll do live streams or videos specifically on other platforms just so we can speak freely.
That's why he didn't let it work. That's why he didn't let his live stream work.
Well, last time I told him, man, make sure you don't get my channel taken down.
Oh man,
it's true though.
Yeah, but so when you talk about the
let's schedule a Rumble, Rice. Let's schedule a Rumble with Ben next week. We gotta, because I got a lot to talk about on that one.
If you can do next week same time, we can do next week same time. Can you commit to that again, Ben?
Oh hell yeah!
Next Tuesday, 3 p.m.
I agree with a lot with what Kanye
and we'll get it,
saying.
We'll get it set up on your We'll get it set up on your Rumble channel, and we'll live stream it on all 3 of our Rumbles.
Yeah, we sure can.
So yeah, I don't want to waste too much time for today's conversation, but yeah, we got a lot to fucking talk about. I wanted to kind of, since, last time me and Ben talked, we did talk a little bit about crypto, but not a whole lot. And I wanted to kind of touch on some things before we go into some possible like UFO rabbit holes. So we had the CPI data come out today. I'd like to get your guys' thoughts on what you think with the CPI data and what the Fed's going to potentially do next month with interest rate hikes. What about you, Blood?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Just curious what you think the Fed's going to do from this point, seeing where we're at with inflation.
Yeah, we talked about this on Sin City's show I just jumped off of. I actually think they're going to do another 25, maybe 2 more 25s. They may pause, and then they're going to have to restart.
You don't think
50?
You don't think, as I say, you don't think 50 is in the books?
50 is definitely a potential, a probability, or I should say a possibility, because I think they're going to do 25, and then they're going to get ahead of themselves, thinking everything is good and all Gucci and everything, and then they're going to pause. And when they pause, the markets are going to go crazy up, out of control. And so we're going to see the same situation that we saw back in the 70s with Paul Volcker. A lot of people don't realize, though it took I think the end of the decade for him to reinitiate, but he stopped.
Well, you have to reverse course at some point. You can't continue to just keep the market stifled, because I mean that's the point of the interest rate hikes is to the reverse to stimulate, is to kind of choke the markets. That's why I've never understood why the Federal Reserve is like saying we need higher unemployment numbers for the inflation to go down, and that just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Let me explain that real quick. All right. This is why the Federal Reserve, the government, is all just full of shit. It's like, number one, the SEC job.
Okay. Got it. You got it, Blake?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Is to protect us from malice manipulation that could hurt us financially. Well, who has wiped out more market value than the Federal Reserve over the last year?
Like juice?
What? Like juice?
What kind of juice?
About juice again?
I said like juice. I said like juice wiped out more.
Yeah. This is all an illusion. It's
illusion as in a simulated reality.
It's all bullshit. Because the Federal Reserve they are manipulating an interest rate and manipulating the market to raise unemployment. Their mandate that they always talk about is they have to manage the employment, and they need to control inflation. Now, why are we always at 2% is their magic number of inflation every year?
Oh, they made that up. They pulled it out their ass. They literally borrowed it from Australia, I think, right, Rice?
I don't know where the 2% came up. It's just a target. It's just a target of there's going to be inflation, so we got to keep it round about 2%.
It came from Australia. They, for whatever reason, back I don't know how many years ago in the 70s, or I don't know, Ben. Maybe you know better than I do, but it was back then, maybe 50 years ago or something, and they literally just ran with it. There's no basis behind it. There's no evidence behind it. Nothing.
Well,
2%.
I think the reason they were aiming for that target of 2%. That was so that the market and the manipulation period of time would actually be like a clock with an actual countdown.
Right.
Because this is all planned, man. This is all planned. It's number one, you know you're dealing with a fiat currency. All right. So you know it ends badly. There's no fiat currency that ever ends well. So it's not like they implemented a plan and went, we're good.
So Ben, do you think that the introduction of CBDCs will extend the life of the dollar?
I think it will temporarily, but I think that they're going to have to create an event that is so financially devastating that all of Americans can't wait to actually download the Fed Now app.
Right.
Yep.
And
It's gonna come with an airdrop. Yeah, they're gonna airdrop $500 or whatever.
May to
and they're
July.
lined up, Ben.
So that's May to July. The next CPI, or excuse me, the next FOMC meeting where they're talking about rate hikes is going to be the 21st and 22nd of March, being the 22nd of the day of the announcement. The following one is going to be May 2nd and 3rd, being third the announcement. So I think May, they always sell in May. So I think May we could potentially, with the inflation numbers, you're going to have before the next FOMC meeting, job data report come out, obviously manipulate it, and then CPI data coming out again before the next meeting to give them a better gauge. I've kind of been saying the same thing about something happening, because May through July is when you're seeing the launch of Fed Now. And there needs to be something that's going to usher people in, whether it's the incentivization of free money or something catastrophic takes place, and this is going to be what you need to transact.
Now,
period.
let me ask you a question, right? Both of you. Would you be surprised if all of a sudden they said, we're under attack by aliens?
Well, we're gonna get into some UFOs. I just wanted to get a little bit of crypto out of the way. I didn't know we were gonna jump, and I didn't know we were getting off Earth right already. Let's stay on
the
Earth
UFOs.
For a few minutes. Yeah, for sure.
UFOs,
I definitely did want to bring it up. I got plenty of articles to talk about the UFOs.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you hit that thumbs up. This stream might go 5 hours. Who knows? I mean, I got some obligations for Valentine's Day, but this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, I feel you. So the other thing I wanted to bring up, in addition to the CPI data report, was Elizabeth Warren. This comes from Politico. Elizabeth Warren cultivates an anti-crypto coalition. I had seen something where she had been colluding with Gary Gensler with the SEC, where they had basically scripted their answers for things, where they were obviously had an agenda. We see what the SEC is doing. The SEC going after, and I wanted to get your thoughts on this, Blood, you as well, Ben, but the SEC going after not only Kraken, but Paxos, which are two of the most, I don't know, I would think play by the rules, do everything straight on the up and up. Paxos, I've heard nothing but good things. As far as
they're legit, man.
Yeah, and then to have this kind of, it's the timing of it. The timing of it with CBDCs is obviously.
This is why I can't stand Democrats. I can't stand more specifically. Excuse me, guys. I don't want to offend you, Ben or Rice, but white liberals get on my nerves. Okay, because they go out there and I know you're not. I know, but you're white. But you're white.
I am white.
So listen, they go out there, Rice and Ben, and say, "Oh, we're for the poor people. We're for the black community. We're for all the downtrodden people." And then you see stuff like this. Elizabeth Warren is supposed to be for the people, right? She's supposed to be all for the people, the Warren Act and all these different things. She's supposed to be, and she's not. She's just for the people with money, like most of all of them are.
Well,
it's a damn shame.
It goes back to, I like to say, because this is the thumbnail for the video I still haven't put out. But what if I told you? What if I told you that it all, you have one bird, two wings, right wing, left wing,
right.
same bird, same agenda.
It is.
Trump wasn't on that bird, buddy. Trump was not on that bird.
Exactly.
Trump was on that bird.
Trump's not a progressive. The problem is progressivism, not Republicanism, not the Democrats. It's the progressive movement is the cancer that has been killing America since pre-Civil War. And how deep do you want to go down this rabbit hole? And all right, and this gal, Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah, she's really native, isn't she?
Right?
Oh, right. The Native American.
I'm definitely more native than she is, and I am native.
Absolutely.
Shit.
Your last name is native, isn't it? Senchi?
No, it's Yugoslavian.
Okay, I would have lied and just been like, no, it's Mohawk Indian.
It doesn't matter. The point is, she's full of shit.
Yep.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Number one, right? The reason they're against cryptos is government is corrupt. The whole system is corrupt. The financial system, the education system, every system that has a government in it in America is corrupt. The fact that they have systems proves the corruption. Right?
Yeah.
A system is made to manipulate something. Whether you have a river system or a plumbing system or an electrical system, it manipulates and actually corrects whatever you're trying to control. So whether they're Republicans or Democrats, if they're progressives like Romney, or if they're progressive like George W.H. Bush, they're all progressives. And the only thing they care about is protecting the system. They don't care about the people. They don't care about me or blood or you.
No, you're right. And that's why I don't consider myself a Republican, because, I mean, I guess you got progressives on both sides, like you said, and that's the problem.
All right.
Because you got the Republicans, with the whole military industrial complex pushing that narrative, right? But it's crazy though, Ben, because now we have the Democrats pushing that narrative more than the Republicans this go around. So who knows? Like Rice said, I guess it's all one ego.
That's why we have to destroy the system. It isn't just shrinking the government, cutting it by 3% and all this other bullshit.
Right, minimizing the federal government's power and all. We need it. The system is broke.
When when you're a slave, the only way you're getting away from the slave owner is to kill his ass. All right? You ain't
But
gonna
what's the best slave? What's the best type of slave?
One that doesn't know you're a slave.
The one that doesn't know they're a slave.
You know what? Real quick, I figured something out on the back end, and I was actually able to go live midstream on Ben's channel. So I'll give you the full video, Ben, but it does look like we are live on your channel.
Are we
okay,
live?
all right.
It just went live just a moment ago. So I totally didn't get the first 25 minutes, so I'll make sure I send you the full video. But I was just fucking around with something, and yeah, I figured it out.
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Yeah, I went through it when I clicked on your channel through the top of StreamYard where it has the end broadcast area, and went ahead and just actually clicked go live, and it went. And
there we
live.
go.
Yeah,
there we go.
But it has. I mean, it's weird because it has all the auto start stop stuff on your end. But never mind. We made it happen, and I mean, we were 20 minutes late and 25 minutes late on the live stream on his end. So 45 minutes later, we're live on Bitcoin Ben's channel, the Bitcoin.
Hell, that's right. Because I think the last time we were all on a stream, we went for like 2 or 3 hours.
Absolutely.
I mean, generally, unless you have something to do, Ben, we don't have short conversations, and me and Blood can't. It's not possible.
It's not possible. I literally can't. I don't know how people do it.
We try, but we just talk and talk and talk, and then like 2.5, 3 hours later, like, fuck, man, we got shit to do.
The problems are so huge that you gotta be very, very detailed,
right,
as you explain the issue, because the government. Let's look at America, right? From the moment as soon as you come out of your mama, even before then, they're fucking with you. They're trying to suck you out with a vacuum, right? As soon as you come out of your mama, they're fucking with you. They want to jab you with 40-something shots.
They want to give you a job. Is that what you're saying there, Ben?
No, I mean, think about it.
Well, that A between the J and B could be like
job.
Now they're getting the JAB.
Well, I mean, I think they're trying to push for children to get immunization stuff, aren't they? But yeah, these
that ain't happening over here. I'll homeschool.
Let's look at the average American life. You come out of your mama. They want your mama back out there working the fields as soon as possible. So
as soon as you become of legal age, you inherit that debt that we see on the debt clock.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, you're a slave to the system as soon as you become of legal age, and until then, you're a ward of your parents.
Right, and so as soon as mom's well, gotta get her back to work. So the government offers child care. Says, all right, we'll take your baby, you go work. All right, number one, that separates the mother from the child. That's very important time. The first 8 weeks of a child's life is smell. All right. So if the mom isn't holding the baby and the mom aren't gonna bond like they should.
Right.
All right. And all right, so now we put the kid into preschool. Well, apparently nowadays that includes teaching them about transgender bullshit, right? So then they put them through school, educating them on how to be good little members of society. They lie about the history. They lie about science. They lie about even reality. They lie about everything. And we've all had the conversation with our kids where we're like, all right, well, yes, your teacher's wrong, but just write down what they want to hear so you get to good grade. So
well, those conversations don't get had though, Ben. That's the problem. Those conversations don't get had in the home. I know I do, but I don't think a lot of people do that. A lot of people don't. A lot of parents don't say, you know, your teacher's wrong. Just do it. This is the real answer. A lot of people don't do that.
Yeah, well, that's another problem with our society is they've ruined the women and they've ruined the men. We got a bunch of
For sure, the men. Yeah.
Well, it's an attack. To me, it's an entire attack on the family structure.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is the core. I started learning that's the core of everything. Once you're able to distort the family structure, then it starts to fracture out into society.
Yeah, I remember when Orange Man was in office, and there was a lot of bashing going on at school that my daughter was witnessing, and I had to check it. I had to check it at home. I'm like, no, that's not necessarily true. This is what actually is going on. No, J6 isn't. This is what actually. So I do it, but I don't think a lot of people do.
That's because you're an active father. Now, are your children you and your wives, like right now?
Are they children? Yeah.
No. Are you and your wife the actual parents?
Yes.
Of the children?
Yep.
Oh, see, that's a difference. Because
that does make a difference too.
Right. We got a lot of other motherfuckers raising other motherfuckers' kids.
Yeah.
And I myself, I have a younger daughter that technically isn't mine physically, but I've known her since she was 3. So I helped raise her. Right. And the problem is, and I'll say this till the day I die, you need to raise your damn kids. You need to teach your kids that daddy don't ask questions. All right? Daddy don't need your fucking opinion. All right? And we need strong women, but that don't mean a bitch. All right? And we need strong men. And once again, that don't mean a bitch. All right? Problem is, we got some weak ass men that let women push them around.
Yeah, I was actually late to the whole Andrew Tate movement. Like, I literally got on him maybe 4 or 5 months ago. But I don't know if you guys follow his stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the mainstream is trying to, I guess they're trying to call that toxic masculinity.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Right. It's too
much. He speaks a lot of truth, bro. I'm sorry. He speaks a lot of truth.
I agree with a lot. I mean, obviously he says a lot of sensational bullshit, but in between the sensational bullshit, he says some really profound, much needed to be said things. And it'd be nice to have somebody present that information without the sensational bullshit, so the message gets across a little bit more
No.
eloquently.
You need the sensational bullshit so it's entertaining.
Magniloquently.
Yeah, but I
That
don't know that
that was the word of the day yesterday, Rice, on my channel.
What was it?
Magniloquently.
Is that a real? That's a real word.
Magniloquently, real word.
Wow, they're coming up with
Man,
some.
that's fantastic. I dare you to spell it.
He probably knows how to spell it though. He just had
Probably.
He's got this whole. Remember? Do you remember Pee Wee Herman show, Ben? When you would say like the magic word, and that's what he does on his show every day now. He has like a magic word. And
See,
it's the truth.
Well, it's similar to it, but yeah.
What America needs is we need some strong feminine women out there showing other women how to not only get a good man, but act like a woman, right? The sexiest thing a woman can wear is a smile. If these bitches would learn that, then somebody might actually talk to them. Problem is that we got women out there trying to act like complete assholes, and they think they're the prize.
Well, in the black community, Ben, I go a step further for you. So now they've already, they pushed the black men, like you said, they've separated the family, right? They've incarcerated a large majority of the black males. Okay. Then the ones that are left don't get the quality job. So now we have in the black community, the black women making more than the black man. So it's very hard in that position for a man to have a say. Yeah, it's just it is what it is. I'm sorry.
Yeah, guys, I mean, it's sad, but I mean, even though a woman may earn more money, doesn't necessarily change the role of a man and a woman in a relationship.
It shouldn't.
But there should be teamwork as well. I mean, if marriage, I mean, this is next time we just need to do like fucking dating advice with 3 dudes.
Oh, I got a lot.
I'll warn everyone out there. Don't take advice from me. I'm on wife number 3. All right.
I'm not even okay. Yeah, I'm not even gonna say okay. Yeah, more power to you.
Her and I have been
disclosing your
together for almost 20 years. Wife number 1, I married a stripper. Bad choice.
Yeah, you told me that story a couple times.
Wife number 2, I got married in a drive-through chapel in Vegas.
Oh, wow.
All right. I don't even count either one of those.
Right.
I was young and dumb and, just out there having fun. But what we need to do is we need to lift up our young men and our young women. And we need to go old school again.
You want to start getting those spanking paddles out and telling people to get their own switch.
I
pick
never
their switch.
hit any of my kids, but they thought I would. See, you don't have to hit them to scare the shit out of them.
Right.
And someone's going to bitch about this. Kids are like dogs. All right, you yell at them, and they'll crumble. All right, it's the whole issue that we got going on is that we're not responsible for ourselves anymore. No one values responsibility. I value responsibility. I want to own my results. So if I fail or I succeed, that shit's mine.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, Blood, you're the same way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's let me do me and get the fuck out of my way. That's it.
Yeah.
Problem
with you,
is
bro.
we let too many people's opinion in our heads.
Where do you think we go in America? The next 10 years, where do you see America?
We're either absolute slaves or absolutely free. There ain't no more middle ground.
I see a civil war.
Oh, absolutely. But it ain't gonna be the North versus the South. It's gonna be neighbor versus neighbor.
And that's even scarier. Because now your enemy lives next door.
Yeah, well, the problem is only one side wins this. And it ain't the liberal side. Because all of the aggression, all of the testosterone, all the weapons, all the years of friggin'
It's on the conservative side.
is on our side.
Yep.
See,
Yep.
I
don't know though. Rice, I think Rice is an undercover liberal.
I don't try to identify as any particular anything. So
yeah, that's a liberal ass response.
Yeah, it is.
I just don't want to. I don't participate. I haven't participated in that shit in quite some time. I'll bitch and complain about it, and some people say I don't have the right, but I just don't participate. So
why do people say you don't have the right?
Because they're like, well, if you didn't vote, then you don't have any say in what goes
not
on.
that,
But,
not
I'm
that,
not talking about voting out. In a civil war, what side are you on?
Freedom.
All right, which side is that?
So look, real quick.
It would depend on the spectrum. It would depend on the spectrum, though.
And I'm not talking Republican versus Democrat. I'm talking progressive versus libertarian. Because everyone else is just going to get the fuck out of the way. The only two sides that are willing to come to blows are those who want absolute control and those who want absolute freedom. Everyone else in the middle.
I mean, in a lot of ways, I guess I could be a conservative libertarian in a sense, but that still doesn't really box me in. But I mean, definitely, I'm for small government. I know we're not at a point in history and evolution of our species that we're going to self-govern tomorrow, be accountable for our actions. So small government.
We are damn close. We're close.
Anti-federalist.
You think we're that? I don't think we're close at all, Ben.
But we are absolutely on the brink
of
freedom. It's a choice. We now have the weapons with cryptocurrency. And
that's only one tool, though. That's only one. Yes, that is
freedom
a tool.
Is a mindset.
The only tool you need.
No, you need weapons. You need a structured military. We don't have that collective organization with the people who are whatever you want to call them, non-progressive, Republican, conservative. I don't see like I put it to you this way, like the stuff that I saw go down in the last election, and the things I didn't see the conservative side do, made me say, well, what the hell is going on? Where's your nuts? Where's your balls? Where's your will to fight?
Yeah.
I was in Washington, D.C. on January 6th.
We were in Washington, D.C. on January 6th.
I was not in Washington, D.C. on January 6th.
You had your white face on.
Nah, you ain't catching this, brother. Nope. I would have been the one shot through the window, or always the brother that died in the
If
movie
I'm not
first.
mistaken,
You already know that.
I mean, it's been time. Ben, I think, stayed at the George Washington Hotel, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yep.
And I
had
stayed
an
at
escort to the hotel.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and that hotel is right next to the Treasury building, which is right next to the White House. Yeah, oh dude, I was hella close.
Oh, I know. And that was an interesting day. And I think that, kind of sort of gives an opportunity to lead into our government, because now we're talking about government, we're talking about stuff. We've had this Chinese spy balloon get shot down that we allowed to kind of float across the majority of our nation until it got to safe waters. And then we've had 3 unidentified objects that have been shot down since, making total of 4. These articles are pretty interesting. This article comes from NPR, UFOs, airborne objects, what we know about 4 recent shoot downs. Kind of going into explanation. The White House saying there's no sign of alien activity. And that kind of goes into this Zero Hedge article. I don't have sound turn on this, but White House, no indication of aliens. They actually said that on a press release. And then
there you go, Ben.
The New York
setting you up.
Post,
They're priming you.
The New York Post then posts today, top U.S. general not ruling out aliens after military shoots down 3 UFOs.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
So it's like the government is playing games with us. And now, because of all this, they set up a new task force, a UFO task force. And my question—
They already had one.
Well, my question to Ben was, like, before we went live, when I was mentioning some of the stories, is well, I thought we had Space Force. Like, what are Space Force doing?
It was another department that was just either reenacted,
the X-Files.
But we already had something, I thought.
Fox Mulder on the case.
Yeah, Fox Mulder and that cute little redhead he hung out with. That gal looks just like my wife.
Which one?
Really?
Yo, oh yeah.
He said which one?
I know you're talking about Kelly, the ginger, because the red hair, I get it.
Oh yeah. And if you look at the redhead on X-Files and my wife, dead ringers.
What is blood
you gotta
doing?
keep her then.
Oh yeah. This is the issue here, is this is how we know that it's almost over.
Because of UFOs?
Everything at us. Everything. I mean, think about it.
We got World War III on the brink. We have the UFOs. We have the global financial collapse. The threat of AI.
Yeah, I mean,
the power grid takedowns, loss of internet blackouts.
One.
Well, they're all serious in my opinion, but it's what are they going to do next? We could have a blackout of the internet and power grid takedown because of supposed extraterrestrials. Real quick, that word extraterrestrial, it doesn't really equate to something other off this planet. It equates to me like extra terrain on this planet, like extraterrestrial. It doesn't make sense to call something from another planet extraterrestrial, because there's all this question about the shape, size of our Earth, and what could be beyond, and different continents and civilizations. And
see, now you're getting into some woo-woo shit. I'm all for it.
But what do you think this shit is, though, Ben? Like, that's going on? Is this some people have, like, here's the question I've heard. One, is China the enemy, or is our government the enemy?
The government. And I'll tell you why.
Because China's had the surveillance shit going on with the social media and all this other stuff long before balloons.
Right.
Number one, all right, I don't even know if China really exists.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, yeah. We're going real woo-woo now, ladies and gents.
Right.
Buckle your seatbelt.
I ain't never been. I joke with my wife every time we go on.
Wait a minute, Ben.
Hang on a second.
And you gotta do a Bitcoin Ben towards China.
Hear me out. All right. Every vacation me and my wife go to, it's a sandals. It's all inclusive. But she tells me, oh, this is sandals Negril. This is sandals this. And I eventually just said it's all Jamaica. Because you could fly me somewhere, put me on the ground and go, you're in Jamaica. And I'd be like, well, fuck, I guess I'm in Jamaica. You know, my point is that the only thing we really know is what's right here.
Yeah, because it's almost like what you're saying in a sense, though. It's very kind of Truman-esque, like the Truman Show.
Yeah.
Like we don't really know what's beyond what we see, what we're familiar with.
What if we're not even on a planet? What if?
What are we? Are we batteries in a matrix? What will we be then?
Now, I do believe we are in a simulation, but I think the simulation actually has a real simulated planet.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, we're all just light. All right.
Yes. Now, I'm into the quantum physics pretty heavy, Ben. So you're correct.
Which is
on
the
that.
reason that you should be able to make the spin, the spoon bend, because it's not the spoon that's bending.
It's you.
And if you understand the simulation, you should have that ability.
See, the only reason
I just can't bend spoons yet.
Can grab this is that the frequency of this light
is off just a little bit.
Yep, just close enough to my frequency that I can interact with it.
Yeah, because 99% of the volume, there is no volume in an atom, right? No. Most of it is emptiness. Yep. So I'm with you, bro. That's a whole quantum deep dive woo-woo we can go into.
Everything.
I'm curious what you guys think about these fucking UFOs and what they are. What
it don't matter because they're made of light too.
The balloon was made of light. I mean, well, technically everything is made of light.
So, you know, they could be playing a little word game with us. You know, unidentified object, flying object doesn't mean an alien craft. It just means unidentified.
Yeah.
However, what I'm confused about is that they created a new acronym called UAP.
Right, which
they
means
didn't want to use UFO.
Right, which means
so why are they using UFO now?
Because it's not a UAP. Which means it's not something that they would consider to be otherworldly or advanced.
Okay.
Is my idea.
That's what they try to do with
you know, and then these things got shot down. These things got shot down very quickly.
Plus, what kind of old fucking UFO fucking piece of shits are they flying around?
Now I got a friend of mine.
Shoot these motherfuckers down.
There's a dude I went to school with, like back in the day, like when I was a young little rice, a little tiny rice kernel, and he moved.
How high are you right now?
I'm not that high, but he moved to Fairbanks, Alaska, and he's a retired USAF air traffic controller. So I made sure to hit him up, and he doesn't know anything. But what he did tell me was fairly interesting. From his point of view, he says that all he's seen was unidentified flying object at high altitude. F-22 from Anchorage took it down along with the one flying over northern Canada. He said that they were big enough for NORAD to track. They were obviously some form of spy elements. And he says NOAA and weather elements launch atmospheric weather balloons almost daily. So these events definitely are more worrisome. And he said that he's not as tapped into NORAD and special ops as he used to be. But if he hears of anything, he would let me know. Then he said that he retired in 2018, but as a civilian controller, he still knows some shit. And I'm not as read in as I used to be, but China and Russia are always pushing the limits on our ADIZ, which is Air Defense Identification Zone. But we completely pushed the limit with our surveillance aircrafts too. That is the norm. These balloons or whatever they are definitely raised more of a concern recently and have NORAD on high alert.
Well, I mean, think about it. What, number one, the only reason we even know about this fucking balloon was some local Channel 5 motherfucker.
The balloon?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, apparently there were balloons in the past during Trump's administration, and military officials decided not to share that information with the president.
Right. But
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Wow.
Because I guess they weren't sure how he would react.
Oh my God. He would react the right way.
Yeah. Well, number one, if it was China, he'd have shot that motherfucker down quick. He does.
See what I'm saying, bro? Like, this is why I have no faith, Ben, in the direction we're going, because I just feel like the whole system has been hijacked. It's completely hijacked. There's no constitution in play. To me, I just don't see how you could be hopeful, because I'm not.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's so much to talk about. Somebody was mentioning, not that we got to derail on this derailment, but what about the train derailments, like the Ohio situation, which apparently one of the biggest, what's the word, ecological disaster that's taken place in quite some time. It's so much being thrown at us.
If you look at America right now, we got egg plants on fire. We got food production at its lowest level since the 60s. We have a currency that is barely worth a couple of pennies. We have war at every doorstep. Now, let me ask you this. Prior to this, has anyone ever heard of any other country that would have the balls to fly something over our airspace?
No, but obviously I think, I mean, if you want to get into that idea, is since Biden has gotten office, he's shown that he doesn't have testicles, because any other president in the past, like what happened with us pulling out in Afghanistan, is a big sign of weakness to the president. And at that point, it's like, well, let's see what we can get away with. Let's see how far we can push before we get pushback.
This is why I honestly believe the government's about to collapse. Because,
well, the Hunter Biden laptop, and then supposedly there's supposed to be some information revealed about the attendees of Epstein and his cohorts and stuff like that. So maybe when all this comes out, it will start to be a shift in power. But until then, I'm kind of on blood side. It just looks like our government is doing everything they can to make things harder for the everyday person. Look at what they're doing to crypto. Look at what they're doing to staking on centralized entities, like the staking as a service with Kraken, and them cracking down on Paxos. But then look at what happened with FTX and how many meetings the fucking SEC had with different people, including Sam Bankman-Fried. But yeah, and then Sam Bankman-Fried is actually technically free right now. And then you have someone like Ross Ulbricht who's locked up. Until I see a real shift in power, man, I can't. I'm more on the side of what and this is getting treacherous territory, but what Thomas Jefferson said in the Declaration of Independence is that we have a duty and responsibility of, and I think you know what I'm talking about.
No, I got you, and I'm right with you, brother. It's this country in Washington, D.C. I think the government's about to collapse because, I mean, look at the people they're hiring in the White House. We got a transgender luggage thief as our nuclear czar.
Didn't they make that individual step down?
Yeah, but the point is, you know why they chose him? No one else would accept the job. Think about this. Even the people in the bureaucracy is now leaving the
Carrier
bureaucracy.
birds. Yeah.
They're gonna do carrier pigeons next, Ben.
Yeah, we're gonna call up Mike Tyson. He's gonna get up on his roof in Brooklyn or wherever he's from and send them out.
Yep.
With bombs in their mouths.
The only people left that will work for this government are the losers, the freaks, the transgender luggage thieves. If you look back in history, look at Chairman Mao. And I wanted to talk about this earlier when you guys said, look at Kraken, look at the other exchange they're going after. They're as legit. It happens at the end of every Marxist. At the collapse of the Marxist system, they always go after the ones that bended the knee. Right?
Yeah.
Chairman Mao wiped out his own Red Army. That was the first people he got rid of, was the closest ones to him. Because he knew that they weren't loyal, right? That they were backstabbing, lying piece of retarded shit.
Yeah, that's true.
That's where we're at now. Now, the only people left in this government are the corrupt as shit ones and the retards that follow them.
And there's a whole bunch of those.
Oh, yeah, you can't throw a rock without hitting a fucking retard.
Well, do you guys think that, I mean, that this is aimed to just be a complete big distraction? Is it aimed to maybe build sentiment against China and other nations to where we could be potentially escalating what's happening in Russia and Ukraine and take it to a worldwide level?
They are waiting for an event. They're dragging this out for as long as they just need an event, because that's how this government works. 9/11. See, I don't think 9/11 was an inside job more than it was a just let it happen. Just let it happen. Give it a little nudge this way and that. Put in a few little CIA people. Help it, nudge it. Boom. Oh my gosh. Look what happened. But don't worry. Don't you fucking fret. Because we have just here in our...
Don't you fucking fret, people.
Don't you worry. We've got the answer. The Patriot Act.
The Patriot Act, boy. There you go. Round of applause for the Patriot Act.
Luckily, we wrote it in the early 90s.
Yeah. Well, did you happen to see Edward Snowden's comment? He tweeted out something in regards to this hysteria, the UFO hysteria, talking about engineered distraction from the Nord Stream pipeline bombshell because of a reporter who had put out information in regards to what took place with Nord Stream.
Yeah.
Edward Snowden, it's not aliens. I wish it were aliens, but it's not aliens. It's just the old engineered panic and attractive nuisance, ensuring NatSec reporters get assigned to investigate balloon bullshit rather than budgets or bombings a la Nord Stream. Until next time.
Yeah. The CIA swam some people in there. They hooked up some bombs. They waited a few weeks. Boom, 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 boom. Oh no. Yeah. They need an event large enough to explain the reset. That's what they're waiting on. They're waiting on Russia. They're waiting on China. They're pushing everyone's buttons, hoping that someone gets pissed and sends a nuke our way. That's
yeah. Well, you know that I think New York City is doing education, like basically about nuclear fallout if there was a nuclear attack. And then I think in the UK and other places in Europe, they're also educating their citizens about safety when it comes to nuclear fallout. And this is something that was prior to me, because me and Ben are older than Blood, but even prior to me and Ben being in school, we didn't have to, I wasn't going in fallout shelters. I think that was more of a 60s, maybe early 70s thing. But now that education is coming back, you're not hearing it, and I'm not hearing it in other parts of the United States, but it's interesting that New York City is doing that. Have you heard about that?
The most interesting thing is that people don't realize is that nuclear weapons are not used for destruction of property.
No, it's for destruction of people.
No. The reason that we actually bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki was not because we were trying to end the war. They were losing. They knew it, and they were going to release a bioweapon, just like America did in 1917. What do you think the Mexican flu was? The first case of the Mexican influenza was in Indiana at a military facility. A nuclear weapon is the only thing that will wipe out an actual fucking bioweapon, because the light and the heat will if you just drop a regular explosive on a facility that has a bunch of bioweapons, all you're doing is letting the bioweapons out.
Yeah.
But if you drop a nuclear bomb, the heat and the light actually kills.
Disinfect it.
That's what the
With a little bleach.
That's what the federal government told all of the scientists that worked on the nuclear bomb. And they were telling the truth, because a nuclear bomb, you'd be surprised how much damage that it doesn't do. The largest nuclear explosion might take out all of like Manhattan. But it's not going to kill that many people outside of about a 45-mile circle. Because it isn't the explosion. That's the point. It's the light and the heat. The nuclear weapon we dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki was because that's where the two bioweapons facilities were. And that's what we hit. That is why Russia right now is where they're at. That's why China is going after or eventually going after Taiwan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The silicon issue, the chip issue, and all that.
Well, that's got nothing to do with it. That's where all of the bioweapons facilities are at.
Well, there was some and it's interesting you bring that up because I mean there was some of those in Ukraine too, where there was supposedly some
That's
strategic.
why Russia's in there, because Russia is in Ukraine right now, because that's what was going to set off World War III. That at the right time, they were going to pull a Wuhan shit in Russia. And all of a sudden, a whole bunch of Russians are getting sick. And before you know it, oh no, it's another pandemic. Except this time it's in fucking Russia. That's why he went in to, that's why Putin went in when he did. Because he knew about this. Trump knew about this. It's
deep.
There's this whole war game that has been going on since Hitler, actually since the Civil War, if you really want to get into it.
Ben, are you familiar with a document called Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars?
Yeah.
If you're not familiar with that, Blood, you should check it out. I actually got in contact with the old gentleman that wrote that. He's like 82 years old. I'm going to do an audio interview with him, but that kind of goes on some of like what Ben's saying. It's almost like a kind of a playbook for the things that were going to be happening in the world based off of intelligence information.
Yeah, it's
Shout out to Mind Your Biz. He said he looks like there's a run on USDC right now.
Oh, is it?
In your chat?
In my chat.
Well,
yeah.
there was speculation and talk about. No, I mean it's just ridiculous. I mean, there of all the things.
I feel like USDC is the one that they're picking.
I don't know that I'm not in that boat, but I think that USDC is 100% playing ball. I don't look at it as being the digital dollar. But
I do. I think it's going to be.
Where are we at with USDC? How is it looking? Have you looked at anything?
No. I can't believe that we're spending $500,000 on these missiles.
I mean, so far on CoinMarketCap, it's down. It's up 0.02%. It's still $1.
So Mind Your Biz out there spreading FUD.
Let me see on CoinGecko.
Thanks, Mind Your Biz.
CoinGecko, we're up 0.1%. It's still $1. I mean, even if it gets down to 98 cents, I mean, I don't think that I don't think it's going to lose its peg. It's 100% audited, backed one for one.
I would be like totally shocked if like the government decided to ban or do something against USDC. I just see them aligning with the government and.
I have heard something about the SEC and
no. You know who they're aligned with is Tether.
Well, they're all
They are
aligned.
aligned with Tether. Yeah, they are.
Blood
they are
Blood
aligned with
shared a
Tether.
video that I shared
Yep.
where where this guy was being interviewed. He's an attorney, and I don't know if he works directly for Tether or not.
Yeah, he did.
It was an interview in Dubai, and this guy was talking about how they voluntarily work with the Justice Department.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how the Justice Department wants to open up an account with them. So that's why I don't see maybe a combination of the stable coins as being used as a digital dollar, but I still see the government creating their own and not existing on the Ethereum blockchain either.
No. See, the government.
We didn't say you said it came on Peg, man. Don't be so defensive.
Right. There are
Hey man, a run on. When you say run on, that means it's a.
Sorry, Ben.
You know,
this is our boy
sorry,
Seth
Ben.
from Mind Your Biz.
Yeah,
Not sure if you're familiar with him.
Seth.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But he was the one that said that. So yeah, but we'll stay on top and watch. But I mean, Circle and Goldman Sachs. I mean, they're in the club.
This is what I'm saying is going on right now. Is that the government is collapsing, but they're collapsing into the globalist corporate system.
Mm.
All right, so it's gonna look like the government is collapsing, and they're gonna start closing down and doing this. It's just a shell game. They're all moving from the old system to the new system. The new system is not government. It's global corporations.
Corporatocracy.
Right. So now, if you were going to transition out of a global fiat system into a digital system, what would you do? Well, I don't know about you, but I've thought about it. I would basically do exactly what's happened over the last 13 years. I would release a decentralized cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
All right. And you have to understand SHA 256 was created out of DARPA.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
NSA technology.
NSA,
right.
Yeah.
So what happened in 2009 that was so fucking special? Everyone says, Satoshi Nakamoto, he finally figured out the double spend issue. That is such a crock of bullshit.
So are you saying that like Bitcoin is like some
created
type
by
of
the government?
Trojan horse?
No, it's exactly what the government always does. It's exactly what DARPA has always done. It's exactly what the progressives have always done. What they do is they take a technology, they throw it out into the free market, let the free market efficiency the fuck out of it, kick the shit out of it, perfect it, and then
come in with swoop with it. Yeah, I mean, I've thought about that theory too. I mean, there's a lot of theories. I mean, even good guys in our government.
There is no theory to it. This is not a theory. This is what happened. All right?
So, I mean, are you saying the government created Bitcoin?
Yes.
Okay.
It's obvious.
Do you we
like,
have so the government has possession of the government? Then you're saying the United States government has possession of Satoshi's coins?
That I don't know.
Okay.
Right?
But he is saying that the government created him because he's a Bitcoin Ben.
But
Government created Ben. That was a good one.
what I'm saying is that just like the military industrial complex has since its creation, is it uses corporate and entrepreneurial energy on projects and ideas and lets the human creativity of capitalism achieve the goal of the government. Because, perfect example. All right, so you want to implement where you have control over the world, even down to the house. How do you do that? Well, we're going to need to get some computers inside these houses. So you have DARPA. What does DARPA do? DARPA creates software that's called DOS, right? They sell that technology that was created at MIT, which is funded by the government, and MIT gives it or sells it to Texas Instruments. Then this young little, lad who's working in his garage, he goes over to Texas Instruments and he buys an operating system called DOS for his Windows project for $50,000. Well, next thing you know, there's Microsoft.
So do you think that the governments are in control of the direction of Bitcoin from a speculation, like a speculative perspective on price? Do you think they're controlling the price? Because I am seeing like a bid under
Trying to right
Bitcoin.
now, yeah.
So why do you think they're? I mean, because I'm seeing it. I'm seeing a manipulation to the upside with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It seems like.
Yeah, dude. It's a juggling act, right? The government, everyone knows that in about 20 years, there's going to be one currency that every other currency resolves to. That will be Bitcoin.
Really? I don't think so. Rice, what do you think about that? You think one world currency is going to be Bitcoin?
Not anytime soon.
No. I'm talking toward, because remember, the government, they're just about, all they do is they manage it. They manage the progression. They nudge, right? So, early days, they could have destroyed Bitcoin. Easy. Why didn't they? Why won't they outlaw it? Why won't they do anything that will really hurt?
I think it's coming. I think they're going to do that. Nope. I think they're going to make a big move. You don't think so?
Nope.
I think when we have CBDCs get introduced and there's a big situation that's going to happen, they're going to try to push people away from anything that's going to be a freedom instrument.
They are choosing the winners. right now. Just like in the 99 crash. Everyone who is on their side will come out the other side of the crash. Everyone not on their side ain't gonna make it through the crash. Did you change my name to Secret Agent Bitcoin?
Yeah, he did.
I was wondering when you were going to notice it. I changed it a couple times.
Oh man.
Well, tell me I'm wrong. Here's
Well, Adrian says that you're NSA.
Ben is NSA. Oh Lord.
All right. Let's look at the double spin issue. That's what we've all heard. That Satoshi Nakamoto solved the double spin issue. I argued this for a half hour with Charlie Lee at friggin' dinner one night.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, Charlie, come on, you're smarter than that.
Charlie is smarter than that. Charlie's MIT, Google, he went to MIT in the program. Actually, Litecoin was launched through an MIT license. He worked for Google and then he worked for Coinbase. He knows a whole lot. His brother had the first Bitcoin exchange in China. Those motherfuckers know.
Hey, brother, you ain't got to tell me.
But he plays dumb as fuck when it comes to asking those questions.
That's because he plays the game, my friend. Right? And when I said what I'm about to say, he knew I was right, and I could tell he knew. I said, Charlie, I said, you're smarter than that. It wasn't that Satoshi Nakamoto suddenly figured out the double spin. No, it was that in 2009, the global internet became fast enough and reliable enough to agree on a block time. That's it. And the reason blockchain wouldn't work before that is because in a blockchain, you have to have an agreed upon time that the block was created. In a global internet or network, the network has to be at a certain speed to agree on a block time. That's the only thing that happened in 2009. Now, they manipulated the language and said, oh, he solved the double spin. No, he didn't. The internet got fast enough that it could agree in
near real time.
Right. In near real time, so that the chain would continue. Because
I don't think it has to be, but that's the thing with the blockchain. It doesn't have to be time synchronized. It syncs at the
programmed difficulty levels and stuff.
It syncs at the discovery of whoever discovers the block. Then you get what I'm saying?
No, because it's an average. All right, it isn't every 10 minutes exactly.
Well, that's because it takes, it may take a little longer, a little shorter to find that number, right? To find that random hash.
But in order to create another hash, you have to have the block time, which is included in that hash.
Yeah.
So all of the blocks have to agree on when that block was resolved.
Do you think that So that Charlie Lee had, do you think that he had any sort of relations with the government when he decided to take the code fork of Bitcoin after certain bugs and certain things have been corrected to then launch Litecoin?
No,
Okay.
no.
I'm just curious.
We have to understand something about government and CIA and NSA and FBI. There's a lot of motherfuckers that have worked for all of those agencies that didn't know they were working for those
Right.
fucking agencies.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Right.
that happens a lot, actually.
Oh yeah. It's just information. That's all it is.
They
It's
silo, Ben. They silo people like
Yes.
they did in Area 51. You know,
Yes.
with your boy, what's his name, Bob Lazar, right?
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
he told us that they siloed each engineer team.
Yep. And
Yeah.
it's when you're a CI, right, which is a clandestine informant, there's very few CIs out there. There's a lot of people who give information to the authorities without even knowing that they're giving information to the authorities. You know, and Charlie Lee was never in the CIA. Charlie Lee never officially worked for DARPA, but Charlie Lee did do research on about 12 different cryptographic projects that were implemented out of DARPA into MIT, because MIT is a feeder and a tool of uh, of shit. I just said their name.
I just popped in. Sorry, I had to use the restroom.
What the hell?
DARPA.
Yeah.
Well,
It's just how it is, man. And Blood, I don't know your full past, but as many times as you and I have talked, I think you're pretty street smart.
Oh yeah.
All right. A lot of information out on the street that reaches the authorities is not from an informant. It isn't someone working with the cops.
Right.
It's someone saying something to someone else who overheard something, something.
but
And
there's snitches though too. There's direct snitches.
oh
There's a
yeah,
combination thereof. I just had to say snitches get stitches, and there's a reason for that.
yeah,
They
but
don't anymore.
No, it's apparently it's cool to be a snitch.
Snitches get pensions. They living good nowadays, ladies and
that's
gents.
the truth.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, wait, did someone say that blockchains are not time synchronized?
Yeah, that was Seth from Mind Your Biz.
Yeah, I said that too. That's what I was saying. Like, I don't think that's one of the powerful aspects or attributes of it. because you can come to consensus without being synced in a time fashion. That was part
Can
of
you
the
elaborate
Byzantine,
on that though?
That's part of the Byzantine fault tolerant aspect or nature of blockchains.
Then
Yeah.
how is it? Then how is it baked in to be certain time frames for the blocks to take place?
It's because mathematically at that particular difficulty rate,
it takes that long to solve
we
it.
know, right? Exactly. It varies, but
Right.
it'd be in that range. It should be.
No, it's just interesting how you could take that same information
Wait.
in 2.5 minutes versus 10 minutes.
I agree with that now in the actual code of Bitcoin now. But the original code of Bitcoin, the blocks had to synchronize in time. There may have been an upgrade or a soft fork or something like that after the initial year. But I'm pretty sure that that was one of the issues that they were having whenever, God, what's that guy that was in the wheelchair? Hal, yeah. I'm pretty sure that was one of the early that's one of the early things he actually brought up was how, because when part of the problem with the double spend was that there was enough time between block creations to do the double spend. And the initial code of actual Bitcoin had to have an agreed upon to a certain amount of zeros on the time that the reward was released. Now, they may have upgraded that out eventually, but in the early days, timing was very important.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I'm not, you know more than me on that part, on the early days. I just know, like Seth said, at this point, that is definitely one of the powers
Right.
of
Someone
blockchain.
asked, "Hey Ben, why don't you like XRP?" I got no problem with XRP. I have a problem with Ripple. And it isn't that I got a problem with Ripple. I have a problem with the idea of centralization.
Exactly.
It's
and a company that's looking to help the bankers.
Yeah.
Like, hello, that's the whole point of us while we're here.
Man, you talk about going hat in hand. They're like SEC.
Yeah.
Man,
right.
No, they're like WEF. I mean, they're partners with the World Economic Forum. Brad Garlinghouse is on the board. They're obviously setting themselves up right. I've had this discussion with Ben Armstrong because he's become such a big proponent. You know, I get the enemy of my enemy is my friend, but to me, now that the precedence with library was set,
my enemy
secondary market is not going to be affected by any of this. So I mean, at this point, it's safe. You're good.
All this oxygen, fuck with me.
You're good, brother. What was I saying?
Yeah, the secondary market.
Yeah, so I mean, so to me, it's like it's a go ahead for adding XRP back to exchanges. you know, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know because if that's the case, then you would see coins back in the library coins back on exchanges.
I thought you were gonna go smoke a cigarette. Oh, okay. You smoke there in the studio. Cool. I still don't smoke in my own home except for my herbs.
No.
What'd you say?
This is my
I can't hear you.
office.
You can't hear who?
You.
What are you
As
talking
I light
about?
my cigar.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, man, we got to do this again, guys. This is I don't even think we got through everything.
Well, that
happy
was
Valentine's to everyone out there. I'd say
Yeah.
that much.
Yeah.
no, I definitely want to, and I went ahead and sent a calendar invite for next Tuesday.
All right,
And then,
let's do the Rumble.
And I'll talk with you beforehand. I mean, I don't want to wrap up in a second, but I'll talk to you beforehand about setting up on Rumble so that we can just do an uncensored stream. So I can't talk. No, stupid. But yeah, an uncensored conversation, so I don't have to feel like an asshole saying, oh.
This you mean? Right.
Yeah, because I mean, it just gets a little crazy with like what we can and can't say with YouTube, but I want to use the platform. And that's the cool thing. Like me and Blood have done several uncensored conversations that we just don't put on YouTube so we can speak freely. And then we can go down the most fucking horrendous, craziest rabbit holes and speak freely about them.
I have respected CryptoBlood forever.
Oh yeah, we go back. We you know the video we did together.
Yeah.
Our
Is
first
this the video when Ben was caught out as being a racist?
Yeah,
a racist.
I had to clear the smoke on that one. I had to have him come on the show.
Dude,
yeah,
we don't hide shit around here, man.
Everybody threw me under the bus.
Everyone.
I didn't throw you under the bus.
No,
I think your black friend came to your aid.
Black.
CryptoBlood.
Yeah.
He said, hang on a second.
Yeah.
And I went on his shit. I got, man, I will go down to the mat.
There's still people give me there was people who gave me shit about bringing you on last week because of that.
Yeah.
There's some people.
Hey, he's got the Brock Pierce hunt. He's hunted like Brock Pierce.
They just don't let your pass go, just like Brock, man. At least you never visited the island. At least
it's
I know of.
What I love about this group, and I'm talking the old school YouTubers, like all of us, man, we're in it for the freedom. Don't nobody hate no one here.
No.
That whole shit show was somebody trying to start some shit, claim that I was racist and all this bullshit. And
could you imagine if that came out during BLM movement and
that's what that
that's what it, okay.
Yeah,
that's what
watch.
Yeah, because it wasn't too long ago, was it? It was just a couple of years ago.
Like 4 years ago, right?
That was in 2017.
5 years ago. Damn.
I recorded that video in my truck.
But it was later after you recorded the video that somebody found it and was exposing you as a racist.
They did that in 2017, but he recorded it when?
In 2015.
Oh wow.
2014. And and if you remember what I said,
I do,
on our interview, ain't no one gonna tell me what words I can and can't use.
Right.
Soon as you let them control one word, They want to control all of them.
Yeah, there's no stopping.
Yeah.
Now,
Well, my
know
whole thing was the hypocrisy of
them, and there's words you can't say no more. Well, I say
you're not allowed to say lady and man anymore.
Right. You can't even say woman no
Yeah.
more. See, that's
slippery
slope.
In 1984, guys.
Yep.
This is what I mean by you have to let people have their opinions. You have to let people talk, dialogue, debate. You got to. Because once you take one step forward in censorship, there's no magical wall like the Truman Show where it just stops.
Yeah.
It keeps going. They keep encroaching on your freedom of speech.
In that sense, though, I mean, to me,
and liberties.
That kind of started like with me and you, Blood, talked about this with Alex Jones as kind of like a test bed of seeing how people were going to react to taking away somebody's voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they
By
already
the way,
got
they took away Minister Farrakhan, the Honorable Minister
Yes,
Farrakhan
yes,
as well
yes.
around the same time.
Yep.
So
lover, this is the difference between people who truly love freedom and people who don't. I value the most communist motherfucker in the world. I value his or her freedom to be a communist. But the problem with most people, they worry about their own freedom and not the guy next to him's freedom. If you want to be free, we all got to be free.
Well, it's like that. I don't know the exact saying, but it's that German minister back during World War II times when he said they came for the barbers, and I wasn't a barber, so I didn't say anything, and they came for the stylist, and I'm not a stylist, so I didn't say anything, and then they came for me, and there was nobody to have my back, basically. So yeah,
right. And
100%.
Hey, I'm telling you. Listen to what Kanye West said about Hitler lately.
What, they loves him?
No.
I mean, we've had this conversation, and now
that part. That's where I was like, okay, yay, you're going too far, buddy. I just can't, you need some help.
But did you catch what we were talking about last week with the whole Khazarian mafia thing and who they claim to be, what religion they claim to be towards, and that's kind of in a sense what was being wiped out.
No,
I didn't hear. I didn't catch that.
Because in Ukrainian territory back in the day, there was a country, Khazaria, and these people were supposedly just like the worst of the worst of humanity, just didn't have any sort of care for
the world. They were known as the name stealers.
Well, there was a Russian czar or whatever the case might have been back in longer time periods, and I don't know an exact date to give you, but forced them into conforming to one of the Abrahamic religions, gave them a choice, and they decided to say they converted to Judaism when in actuality they were just continuing to be who they've been, but using the name of being a Jew in what they were doing. And now most of the world when we talk about the Jewish people, most of the time they're referring to these, what we are saying are technically fake Jewish people who assume to be Jewish so that they weren't destroyed.
They are the people who run Hollywood. They're not Jews. There is no such thing as a white Jew. No.
Now they get pretty light in complexion, but not white per se. Because Monty Greenspan's pretty light, and he's as Jewish as they come. He lives in Israel, grew up.
But see, just because you're from an area does still not mean you are that.
Right, but I'm saying he's Israelite who practices
He may be
Judaism.
Israelite, but he's
Okay.
not a Jew. You have to remember, words mean things. A Jewish person is out of one of the original tribes. That's what makes them Jewish.
We're definitely going to have to take this conversation more to an uncensored area.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
the people you're
Yeah.
talking about control this platform where our channels are at.
You're absolutely right. And I'm telling you now, man, when this is all going to come out, this is all good. Why is it that you cannot find a speech of Hitler's that's translated into English?
Well, Ben, when we do this conversation next Tuesday, I want you to tell me the answers to this, but I don't want you to tell me the
Go
answer to
Rumble.
it right
Go Rumble.
now.
We'll do Rumble.
But I've taken notes from our past two conversations. I don't even, unless there's something really important to talk about, I just want to go straight into the woo and go as deep as we can fucking go.
Yeah, and I'm not saying Hitler
And
was a good guy.
I'll bring my my 2 Satoshis as well.
Yeah, Hitler was a piece of shit.
With the Moor,
I definitely didn't think you were pro Hitler and pro Nazi man.
Hitler was a piece of shit. Hitler was he was
a guy. He was a guy that existed.
No, a eugenist. Hitler was a eugenist.
Right.
Just like the rest of the progressive movement. Right? Hitler and the creator of Planned Parenthood, they wrote each other love letters. She loved him.
Well, Ben.
All right.
I think the two of us both had to get ready. I'm not saying this because of what you're saying, but we were both messaging each other in a private chat that we've got to both kind of get ready to wrap things up. Are you? I'll message you to remind you because we can't set the live stream up until 48 hours in advance due to the way that
Rumble.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I'll remind you. I definitely want to do next Tuesday, 3:00 p.m. on all 3 of our Rumble channels, so we can do this uncensored. Before we wrap up, man, again, I appreciate your time. I want to wish you and Kelly a happy Valentine's Day. Do you have anything that you want to add? And I want to mention that we'll have links down below for all your socials, your YouTube channel, your Rumble, your website, Twitter, and all that good stuff. But yeah, any final thoughts, my friend?
Love each other, but don't put up with bullshit.
Well said. Well said. Blood, it is Valentine's Day. You're my other brother from another mother. Happy Valentine's Day to you. And
yeah, thanks, man. Thanks.
And your harem and your family.
Yeah, you know.
And have links for your Rumble channel down below, as well as your YouTube, for your website. And again, if people want to get 25% off Bloodalytics, they can do so using code RICE TVx 25 at checkout. Discount code 25% off. So be sure to take advantage of that. Other than that, man. Yeah. Anything else?
Great stream as always.
Love you.
Even better to have Ben on. That was great.
Yeah,
that was great. And so I'm looking forward to next week.
As soon as we're done with this, I'll download the video and shoot you a link so you can download it, so you can upload the full video, since we missed the first 26 minutes.
Awesome.
But I will go ahead and wrap up, if you guys can bear with me real quick. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. If you haven't smashed that like button, I definitely encourage you to do so. Make sure you're subscribed to all of our channels. Links are down below in the video description. And as always, I want to encourage you to be a blessing to others. Treat people how you want to be treated. Be the glitch you want to see in the matrix. Be the change you want to see in the world. And until next time, practice change. Holla.